Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to read for you today your June prediction. As always, it's helpful to remember that general readings are for confirmations and synchronicity. And if you're looking for answers or spiritual advice specific to you, I do recommend booking a private session with a trusted tarot reader. If you'd like to book with me, I now have all the information in the description box below. And if this is not your first rodeo, I will meet you at your reading. Hi again, all the general housekeeping out of the way. We have 5 piles to pick from today. Here's pile 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I also have a little extra note to throw in. I will be doing a live draw and shuffle for every pile today. Something totally different. So I actually did a June prediction yesterday, and you know, you guys, I really wanted to take my own advice, the advice I give you, and to do what felt better. And there's nothing wrong with drawing cards ahead of time, but it just feels, when I read for myself, or if I'm, getting in the zone and I do a practice session and I just go live, the reading is literally like eons better than if I sit here and have the cards down and try to decipher instead of divine, is kind of what I'm calling it. So if I pause, if there's little pauses, that's fine. Please don't let that bother you. It's just going to produce a much more natural reading, and I think that you're going to be able to relate so much more, and then the messages that come through are just going to be that much more impactful. And I also, I've been watching my old videos, and sometimes I sigh, and I just wanted to do another housekeeping note that sigh is just like energy coming through, and I have to take a breath and sit with it so I can see where it was supposed to come from, because the messages come in all sorts of shapes and forms. It can be a picture in my mind, a word clear as a bell, or a word in my head that I hear differently. And sometimes, it's all at once. Oh my God, sorry. Do you see this? My African violet is trying so hard to bloom for you guys. But they don't like their leaves touched. What was I saying? Yeah, the messages, sometimes they come in all at once, and sometimes it's a lot slower. And I just want you to be aware, okay? So we're going to be doing a live shuffle today, which I'm so excited about. It really makes me think on my toes, but like I said, I feel like that just makes a much more impactful, it creates a much better channel to receive the messages if I'm going live, kind of. So I hope that all made sense to you. And if you're new here, a special hello to you. My name is Zach, and I use a natural psychic ability to read the tarot and to create your oracle. So take a moment to ground your energy and to tune into the piles and see which one seems to be drawing you in the most. And that answer might be more than one pile, which is always fine. Your answers or guidance are probably a combination of both piles. Now, once you've made your decision, scroll down to the pinned comment or the description box to find your corresponding timestamp, and then I will meet you at your reading. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with pile 1. If you need more time, you can just pause the video and continue to meditate, and then I will meet you at your reading. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's just begin. Like I said in the disclaimer, or if this is not your first rodeo, you may have missed that, I'm going to be doing a live draw on all 5 piles. So it might take a minute for the messages to come out, but this is the most precise and accurate way for me to be able to communicate and channel. So what's coming in June specifically for my pile 1s? Okay. Okay. So what I'm getting so far from this, okay. So it's like we're building something, some sort of creative project, talent, career, or we're manifesting something. And the Wheel of Fortune directly following is pretty great. It's an upright position too. So an upturn of fate. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, it always comes with an additional message that it can't turn, to grind the wheat or grain into flour. It has to have some sort of action that, inspires it. For example, at a grain mill, you have to have water flowing so that it can spin the wheel and grind the grain into flour, to produce something more prosperous. Selling flour is more valuable than grain, for example. Now, it's also we're learning about slow and steady progress, okay? And it seems like we're waiting on these returns with a little bit of impatience is the message that's coming through. So my pile ones are manifesting something this June, especially towards the beginning of June, okay? And let's see what's coming next. Okay. The moon, interesting. Okay, cool. So this is a great progression. I see us starting as the Knight of Pentacles and then moving towards the end, which would be this King of Pentacles moment here. And again, I'm sorry if this isn't the most beautifully aesthetic piece right here. It's not lined up perfectly. Okay, so working on patience, I see, is going to bring up this moon element right here. The moon really talks about something that, I hear poverty consciousness is affecting some of us who are manifesting, and it's actually a block. So I think that some of us might feel impatience when, our return is not coming in as fast as we thought it could. And a little hint there would be perhaps we're not able to identify precisely what it is we want to call in, or the flip side to that entirely. We're asking for something entirely too precise, okay? And not allowing any sort of wiggle room. For example, if some of us are trying to manifest love and we have a pretty tall order, I think it's important, to identify what you want. But, if he has to be a 6-foot pro lacrosse player, blonde hair, 6-pack, 6-figure job, great mom, good relationship with his family, large house, this kind of car, blah, blah, blah. You see how that gets to be a little bit too much? And suddenly the universe is scrambling to find someone who fits every little element right there to direct towards you. And I honestly feel like if we're looking for that many bullet points, we're in for some lessons in love to come. Now, that was just one example. This might not be love for you. This could be manifesting cash and things like that. And perhaps we need to let go of how that can come in. For example, if we've never manifested before and we don't really know how that works, and we ask for like $1 million our first time, that potentially is a little bit too large, and you're maybe not as experienced with that. But the moon just tells me that in the upright position, something's coming up to be dealt with that is going to create sort of a little bit of conflict in this element right here, but ultimately it's resulting in you being in this King of Pentacles energy. And then both of them are upright, which is great. It's the sort of positive aspect, the light aspect. Now, I just want to add that, shadow and light equal, they weigh the same. And the moon, especially during eclipse season right now, this could be something that you thought you completely dealt with. Maybe you thought you were over poverty consciousness, just to use that example again, and it comes up, and it's just sort of, just that little bit of nudge from the universe, just the tiniest little block that says, are you sure? Did you really manage this? And again, this is a general reading, so try to fit what element the moon is bringing up for you. For example, to pull from my own experiences, not the greatest relationship with my mom, really set some dramatic barriers in 2020 and felt really good about it. And then during eclipse season, it sort of came up to the surface again. And I was like, wow, I really thought I dealt with that like completely. And the reality is I did, but it took that just additional, check-in to say, oh, wow, kind of like, oh, I did, instead of like, I thought I did. It was more of a confirmation. And I think that's the vibe I'm getting from here. So this 5 of Wands card, it can talk about an argument, but it also can talk about healthy competition. And since I'm getting this manifestation vibe or, building a new career. The Knights are all about building, so you could be building, improving on a talent. Okay, and it's a really good aspect because we have the Wheel of Fortune directly following this, which is great, and it's upright. So I view this as a really healthy competition, and then thus, learning these lessons, being able to work on our patience. The gift of patience is more patience. And that probably really bothers you because it really bothers me. But it's true. I am someone who is so impatient. And I've learned, by being in the present moment, how to deal with impatience so much easier. And it's really a necessary process, especially when we're building something large, okay? And I see us building something bigger. This is, perhaps moving in a different direction here in 2021. That numerology breaks down to a 5, which is change, okay? And then next year, we're going to be moving into a period of harmony where we can really reap the rewards, okay, of something that we're building here. I think that I see some of us in June going in a new direction, building something new, okay? Or for some of you, again, this is a general reading, waiting on the returns of something. Partial, part of it has come in, not all of it. And this partial aspect is causing this moon element for us to, go back. Did we dot all our I's, cross all of our T's, just double check? Okay, and wow. Am I in a good place to manifest? How is my energy? Is kind of the vibe. I see this really optimistic period here, followed by, grays and blues. So this can talk about being in our head perhaps a bit too much. But then, entering this King of Pentacles period. So from what I'm seeing right now is like it's happening, which is cool. And there is going to be this airy period in the middle, that causes us to go inside of our heads, but that's not a bad thing. Okay, so we got literally the manifestation card that came out next. So this is coming through, okay? Let's see if we can get a few more cards. This Four of Pentacles, what it talks about is having, an understanding of 2 talents, abilities, 2 things that you've manifested. And this third item is literally coming through exactly right here. And it's something we wanted for so long, and we're holding on to it really tight. Okay, we are not letting this out of our grip. These 2 talents, these 2 aspects that we've brought into being, this could be relationship. You can manifest anything, time off, more time to play, better relationships with things outside of people, sort of like substances, work-life balance, whatever this manifestation is, it's coming through. Now, the additional message with this Four of Pentacles is you have 3 in your awareness, but on top of your head, there seems to be another talent, okay? There seems to be a hidden talent or some aspect, some puzzle piece that's not quite complete, okay? I see you gaining something here and holding on so tight that perhaps the message here is to share, okay? I think that when we can, live in a place where we're comfortable with giving and receiving, especially giving in this aspect, then we become the King of Pentacles, okay? This king is not worried about bringing new life in, bringing money in, finances, he's not worried about his career. He's experienced it, and this is your experience right here, okay? You've literally done the work. Slow and steady wins the race. You've sown all of your seeds, growing them, quite ripe here. Regardless of this orientation, it is a 7, so it's quite a bit of abundance here, okay? And we're gaining divine knowledge. So a 3, the airy realm, plus 4, stability, the ground. We're gaining understanding, which is patience. Now, what was I saying? It's being in this element here is, you got 3, yeah, it's the suit of the 4, but we're totally unaware of what is up here, okay? And in order to crown ourselves with this 4th and final element of our being, our potential, our talents, we have to be in a place where we feel confident enough with our skills as being a manifester, or confident enough in this talent, career field, where we don't feel like we have to hold so tightly on everything that we gain, okay? It's kind of a message to give back a little bit. For example, I used to work with horses quite a bit and training horses, and It's one thing, to have lesson students and to give lessons and take money like that, which is great. That's totally fine. But in this example, it would be volunteering, showing up at a horse barn and volunteering lessons, being confident that I'm going to gain, clients that way. Honestly, if I'm going there and giving my services, chances are someone's going to see me and want to hire me. So it's about not holding on too tightly because you deny other circumstances from coming through, and it kind of blinds you to this other element. So my pile ones have like a lot of talents, a lot of career potential, and are really adept. Okay, let's see if anything else wants to come forward. Any additional advice? Okay, I'm not getting anything from there, but I will go ahead and consult the romance deck. Now, this doesn't have to be just romance. This can also be relationships in general. This guy really wanted to come out. Okay. Wow. Heart-to-heart conversations honestly discuss your feelings with each other, but also separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Okay? Heart-to-heart conversations. This feels like this element here, this period of brooding, and then the moon. It feels like we could have some aspect towards the middle of June where, it would be fruitful to take some time apart from our partners is what I'm getting, honestly. And on a personal level, that's totally true. I would consider myself 50-50 extrovert, introvert, but I'm also an extra sensitive person, so I really, really value alone time because I understand that it reveals my honest feelings and, it helps me identify with myself and what I truly desire, being away from the influences of people. So that could just be an additional message, to take a retreat. Excuse me. You see that this figure here has gone quite far away from the city here. And if we look at where we're starting, there's no city around, okay? There's really no element of any city until here, this King of Pentacles moment. And these scenes look rather similar. So I get this idea to create a safe space, not necessarily safe. I don't know why safe came out. Some of you might not feel supported by your partners right now, but that's a very specific message. I just get this idea to find a balance between your relationships and work, but also your alone time. Okay, so Amazonite was the stone that all the piles have as intuition cues for the June prediction. And Amazonite is all about a balance between masculine and feminine, but also being able to see both sides of any situation and to understand that there are always two sides to every coin. Now, if you're interested in Amazonite, it's also really great for clear communication, okay, speaking eloquently, but also psychic vision and prophecy. So I just wanted to get that message out there. So heart-to-heart conversations, it feels like there's something under the surface, and this could be a self-limiting belief or just this idea of poverty consciousness, feeling like you have to. I just get the idea that we should communicate a little bit with our partner about something that hasn't come to light yet, because, some of us aren't, outspoken, confrontational, and I totally am. So I feel like I can give this advice so readily, but some people aren't. And I just want to let you know that the more you keep that hidden feeling inside, the more that it grows and breeds resentment, okay? When there could potentially be no issue at all, you just have to bring that out into the light. And you might be assuming something. And my boyfriend has like the most cliche or goofy phrase. It's when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, assume, which I think is pretty eloquent. So this is what I'm getting so far. I do want to draw a couple Kavo cards, and I'm going to go with my favorite deck. So let's have some, you really want to come out. June, color. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of color here. I see you guys, especially in this card here. So the black horse, The gray horses in this deck, or gray horses in general, talk about like an unconscious drive. How I was just talking about this gray area energy. So being like up in your head. The black horse talks about, black soil, okay? Fertile soil, extremely high in nutrients. That's black, rich soil, but also the void, okay? So the void is the space where all newness comes from. Any new idea, any aspect of newness comes from the void. Okay, creation itself. All of us came from like the big void of black space. So that's what I see with color, just a lot of creative potential. So I'm getting this creative read. Some of you could be singers, wanting to manifest that talent or develop it to produce a record. I'm getting like a record right there. But also you could be in film. Okay, that could be a film reel. So color just tells me, it cues me into your creative aspect. And let's see what's here. Air, yeah, exactly. Okay, so just be aware of this moment in June. This moon coming to the surface, I know that's affecting a lot of people right now. Like I said earlier in this reading, I definitely had my moment of it's really honestly just a check-in, another opportunity to feel good, right? So I was like, did I get over that relationship with my mom? Yes, I did. Okay, so air could also just be an invitation to get some fresh air. And I think that has to do with this relationship element as well. Now, I did mention the void, so I'm going to draw a message from the void. Let's see what comes out for you guys. I want two, okay? Ooh, yup. Don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop. I've kept this message in all month because I think it bears repeating. Don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop. This has to deal with this moment right here. This, for some of you, it's poverty consciousness. So, always thinking that money is really hard to get, that manifestation is really difficult, that getting what you want is impossible, that you're asking for too much, and all that is incorrect, okay? It's important that we design our own idea regarding money. And I think that, there are a lot of rich people in the world who give money a bad name, but the reality is that's yet another self-limiting belief. Okay, there's nothing wrong with money. There are plenty of people doing good with money. Money is a renewable income. What am I trying to say? Resource. There we go. It's a renewable resource. Okay, there's nothing wrong with money. Money gives you freedom and choices, and I don't know anything else in the universe that's better than that. Especially for my pile ones who are interested in finances. Or at least talents and creativity again. This whatever lens is yours. So don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop. Don't sit in this energy of impatience, or when we bring this manifestation in, it's time to celebrate that, okay? Maybe book yourself a little trip, even if it's just the weekend, or like just the afternoon, go to the beach or take yourself on a hike to get some fresh air. When you've brought this element in, it's time to celebrate that, okay? And I do see that with this period of optimism towards the end. And because if we sit in this energy of, it's too good to be true, we're actually going to push away potentially more that's still coming in, and we're not aware of it. So when we get to this moment, I think that's talking about, clutching onto something, but also it's too good to be true, which is kind of like rejecting it. So that's what I was getting from that one. Now here, store your doubts in a trunk. You don't need them. Cool. Yeah, so this really is just another emphasis here. It's drawing a lot of attention to worrying and self-doubt. And I think that here's just a message, especially regarding this balancing aspect from the Amazonite, that worry and doubt and fear are emotions, and happiness and joy are also emotions. And the reality is you choose them. Okay, you choose both, so they weigh equally. And fear only comes in to redirect you, like that moment I was talking about with the moon, just to check in, and it also strengthens you just as much as happiness is, okay? Happiness is just the positive cue, okay? But they're both just cues along your journey. So store your doubts in a trunk. You don't need them, pile one. Like, look at you, color. You guys are so creative and inspiring. absolutely great energy. And your reading for June is amazing as well. Of course, there's this element of like needing to be a little bit more patient and then needing to have this conversation, but also just enjoying competition. Okay, competition is healthy. It inspires you along, and clearly here it has inspired you from the Knight all the way to the King. All right, so that is your June prediction. I hope that this resonated, and I would love to talk to you guys in the comments about it. As always, if you made it this far, give me a big thumbs up. It really goes a long way to helping support the channel, but it also helps other people receive these messages. And if you want to see more messages like this in the future, you can always press subscribe. And until then, stay divine. Hi, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading for everyone who specifically chose this piece of Amazonite. Amazonite is really good for psychic vision and prophecy, communication, and speaking eloquently. And so I thought that would be perfect for my June predictions. It's also about balancing energy, especially masculine and feminine sides. Now let's get into your reading. What's coming in June for Pile 2? If you skipped right to the timestamp, if you skipped right to the timestamp, I'm doing a free draw, a live draw for all of these. Wow, 2 5s. Okay. All of my piles, I'm doing a free live draw. I don't know why I keep saying free. Maybe free yourself is the message that's coming through right now. So 5 of Cups energy, I see us, balancing relationships, and that doesn't have to be with people, but it could be with things. Relationships with substances, relationships with work and life balance. And 5, it's a number of change, followed by yet another number of change, okay? I get a codependency vibe right here for some of you in relationships. You might want to take a step back and do a little bit of evaluation about what needs to stay in the relationship and what aspects need to go. And there is just, our figure right here, cloaked in black, kind of mourning the losses over here. But, focusing on this seems to be creating more problems. Okay, so we have 3 of them, yet there are 2 full cups standing upright at the figure's back, so in the subconscious or just unknown. And these could be creative projects, they could be relationships with people, emotions, feelings. I see that in June, especially in the beginning of June, we're just doing some housekeeping, it feels like. And I just want to let you know that the more you focus on like a negative side or anything that you don't want, if we dwell in that place of fear, we're going to call in more of the same. So wherever we put our present thoughts, intention, wherever that is, whatever that might be, that's what comes in, okay? That's what we can call into being. So yeah, I just get this codependency going on right here, which is, not a bad thing. That was my candle dripping. Sorry, I don't know why that was so loud. So the 2 figures in this card, we have a blind person and a beggar and a mute. Some mixture of those going on. And the message is that they use each other's pitfalls and strengths and put them in a fertile conjunction so that they're, not worse for the wear, but better off because of this relationship, okay? I'm getting a lot of black but gray, actually not black at all, kind of like a gray in your head depressed energy. The 4 of Swords really talks about upright, a really like a need for meditation, okay? A need for a pause. And for some of you, that's the message, but this is a general reading. And, when I get it in reverse, it kind of tells me like it's been a little bit too much inactivity. I think that maybe we've been taking a passive approach to the housekeeping, and we're kind of like, yeah, that seems to be falling away, and, that's going to fall away. But the Swords, it asks us to take a little bit more of a proactive approach. And maybe some of you want to, check out some Amazonite, because it seems like you could benefit from some clear communication, especially early in June, okay? In reverse, the 4 of Swords kind of talks about fossilization, staying in place for too long and getting confused. Okay. So the 3 of Cups in reverse, learning about the need of celebration. These guys wanted to come out. Oh, wow. Was not expecting that for you guys. That's beautiful. Okay. So, okay. For some of us, this really is a call to get off the couch, to go out and follow our dreams, and to start building something. So the Three of Cups is a cause for celebration. In reverse, I don't always take reversals, and I'm not even getting the slightest read on this in reverse. So we're going to put that upright, okay? So three, creation, the power of three, a threesome. Obviously, a splendid celebration going on right here. I hope that all of these cards are in frame. I'm going to move them up. And it's sort of like a ripe, abundant time, okay? And we see three here, It seems like weeding out people from the past who don't, align with your current belief system. But this could also be habits of yours that don't align. Creative projects, that we're just going to let them fall away. That's what I was creating when I was someone else, but now I am clearly this new person. And, there is a good balance to be found here. We also kind of have like this reverse progression, so 5 to 4 to 3, okay? And it's leading to this sun moment. So regardless, this is like an extremely positive card, Really only the world is more positive, in my opinion, than the sun in this deck. And the sun, it really just talks about every day being a birthday and kind of having that mentality and that approach to life. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse talks to me about you becoming this Knight of Pentacles. So someone who's building a new career, building something from what has fallen. Okay, but we're a little impatient. The big lesson here is about slow and steady wins the race, okay? Now, we have a gray horse here. The gray horse, it is a very happy, positive card, but it can talk about unconscious drives, okay? But I do see the transformation from gray to black, okay? So black, the void, just pure creativity, okay? And we've got that great blackness there and here. And the void is where all creative potential comes from, every single new idea, just all the newness. And I just saw the number 7 on the clock. So 7, that talks about divine knowledge gained through applying the airy realm and the concrete realm, so 3 and 4, and bringing that into a fertile conjunction will result in, oh, that's cool. We have the 7 going on right here. That results in divine knowledge, having a foot upstairs, in your head, but also, being grounded as well. In reverse, the Knight of Pentacles calls for a need to be grounded, and you get divine knowledge from occupying both spaces, okay? The Sun card, what else am I getting? I'm curious because this is like sort of a very dense energy up here and then coming very quickly. It seems like in the middle of June in a totally different direction. Okay. So the 8 of Swords, yeah, it kind of talks about, okay, we wanted to bring you as well. Okay. Eight of Swords, in your head, absolutely. Okay. It's also talking about self-limiting barriers that we have created. We have created the barriers in our mind, the confusion, and for some of us, this is because we sat too long in a period. We were waiting for something to come in for us, and it just hasn't come in, and we're learning that we have to build it ourselves. And if you just notice, these binds on her are very loose. She's also surrounded by how many swords? 8 swords. So it seems like she has everything in her power to free herself. Wow. Yeah, that was that message very early on in the reading. I heard free yourself. You have the ability to transmute your energy is what I'm getting here. So for some of us, I got that grounding vibe. Okay, so an extremely helpful way to sort of clear your head is to, everyone says go outside and ground yourself. What does that mean? Literally dig your feet into the dark soil, wriggle your toes, And I'm going to go a little occult right now. Call upon your spirit team. If you don't believe in that, call upon Mother Earth. Just command the earth to transmute any energy that you have picked up from the collective, any self-limiting beliefs that society has imposed upon you, anything that you haven't decided for yourself. And just ask that the ground, take that from you and transmute it so that you are left, with your cup full, and it's full of just your energy. Okay? At this element of the mind, you have the ability to free yourself, but only you have that ability. Okay? And the key to that might be, celebrating with the friends that are close to you, the ones that you are keeping with you. And this celebration, after we get out of this moment, the advice here is just do it, okay? If you want to build something, you want to start your new talent, career, you want to do that job change, you want to develop different relationships, call in a new soul family, the secret here is to just do it, okay? And you have the power to, but only you can do that for yourself, okay? Knight of Cups in reverse, it talks, this building element, okay? We've got another gray horse. The three cards over here was kind of like a clarifier of how are we getting from this energy to this energy, okay? It seems like a friend coming in for some of you, but also sort of like self-love. Turn this energy in towards yourself after we've made this period. This could be going on in your life right now, this general housekeeping, sorting out friends and beliefs and relationships that don't serve you. You could have just been in this energy or moving into this energy now in June. Today is June 1st. And this Seven of Cups element. So we're going to draw some relationship cards here in a second, but this card talks about a smoke screen, okay? And it seems, this snow, this black and white element going on right here, especially in this really airy realm, the smoke screen, unable to identify what we want, okay? Now, some of us, for some of us, this is just do it, get out of your energy, get up and go. For some of us, this is an extreme call to stop. And you're going to have to decide for yourself, okay? So this, in general, really talks about a huge period of rest, that's going to really help you moving forward. The whole purpose of the swords is to lighten the burden, to cut away the dead weight. And in reverse, it could magnify that. So a real need to be quiet and to be by yourself and to make room for yourself. And again, for others, this is go. And I'm getting that for the majority of you. This is, okay, it's time to go. For some of us, we like to create... and it's just, a different form of fear. We're a little bit too perfectionist regarding starting a project. If I could just get this, if I just had a little bit more money, then I'll begin. That'll give me my indication from the universe that the time is to begin is now. You're being told to start anyways and to take a leap of faith of sorts. And guess what? It's resulting in the sun moment, okay? A celebration, a very happy period in your life. And it's just about, deciding what you want, okay? What comes and what goes, okay? Are we obsessed with beauty, power, success, riches, and finances? Or it's just a call to sort out what comes and what goes. But I also like that the progression from the Five of Cups all the way to the Seven of Cups, that's a good progression, that's positive. Is there any other messages that want to come through before we dive into the romance aspect? Again, some of us are going to really have to decide if this is telling us to sit a beat or if this is telling us to get up and go and do this shit, okay? Nope, okay. So let's move into this deck, and I'm going to draw cards from it. One more deck after this. So what's coming in love? Relationships in general, this doesn't have to be love. Cool. Oh, wow. Honeymoon, and this could be the one. Okay. So this card is really evocative of the Six of Swords. Okay. Which is, a good energy in between these two. The Six of Swords talks about, that great black pole that the figure on the gondola is operating is talk about plumbing the depths. And the only way this boat can move forward is if this big stake, this big oar, I don't really know what that's called. I'm going to call it an oar. It can only move the boat forward by pushing all the way down, pushing off the bottom, then you can be projected forward. So this is an invitation for you too, not to just go halfway, not to just let some of the cups that don't serve you fall away, let all of the cups that don't serve you fall away. All of the relationships, okay, that no longer support this new you, which is coming into being in June. You're blooming in June, like this beautiful energy, very optimistic, very creative. Don't just go for a little bit, get to the very bottom of what seems to be holding you back and burdening your mind so that you can be propelled forward, okay? You're building something new and at least learning about that. Now, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek, okay? So some of us have best friends that we're in love with, and some of us have already met the partner. If we're single right now, it seems like someone, I don't remember where this is from, but I think like by the time you turn age 25, statistically, you've already met the person you're going to marry, if if that's in your future. And I don't remember where that came from, but that needed to come out for someone. So if you had any question regarding love, you've already met the romantic partner. It seems like love is being supported. We've got this Three of Cups energy, and the Seven of Cups. So that does talk about relationships, but I'm getting this as the relationship with the self. Okay. Any other love messages? No. Okay. So I'm going to pull from one more deck. June looks like it's got some work. Okay. You got a little bit of work cut out from you, but the key here is identifying if you're the person who needs to 1000% pull away, and I think that's only a couple of you, or you're the person who needs to just do it. Okay. Nike's that's such an interesting thing to unpack because there are so many moments in the last couple of years of my life where I realized the power behind that phrase, those 3 words, just do it. Honestly, it's the second you take that leap, then you will be supported, okay? Your team on the other side, the universe, it can't make that decision for you. It can only put blocks in the way or grease the wheels. You have to already make that effort. You have to already go down that path. And until you do, you're sitting in your head, and at the moment you do, boom, sun energy, okay? So let's draw from this one last deck. What's coming in June for pile 2? New and the moon, okay? Some of you are getting your manifestation returned on the new moon, which is really cool because in my last reading, I was talking about the full moon coming, but no matter the circumstance, I kept saying new moon, new moon, new moon. And maybe you chose that pile last time, so if you did, that's pretty cool. New talks about this to me, new friendships. New beginning is the sun, okay? I see you stepping into a much sunnier, happier period of your life, shifting from here. And I think that comes from just this level of awareness that's coming in June. I think that you're really being inspired by the sun rays, like literally hitting your naked skin. So some of us should get some sun, okay? And I think that that's going to really help us bring us out of the winter of our lives, okay? You're getting a new start, a new beginning is what I'm getting. The moon talks about this element here, okay? This element of the mind that we seem to be identifying. And the moon is really about bringing up things from the past that seems to be bothering us. And these are items that we keep pushing away and not 100% identifying and bringing into the light. So they keep resurfacing. And that only happens, it's not a bad thing, it only happens so that you can successfully deal with it. So you bring it into the light. It dissolves, okay? And we don't have to deal with it anymore, okay? It doesn't have to burden us anymore. The moon is telling us to take that deep dive, okay? And it's time to really exterminate any relationship with any aspect of life. Again, people, but also, substances, work, any element of your life. It's time to, create a better balance with that. And if there are things that no longer serve us, pile 2, they're dead. I feel like I need to tell my pile 2, you are this new person. Okay? You are them. You have the Sun card, okay? Congratulations, seriously. So these things that keep burdening your mind are just this real clarification. I think for some of you, this is just a big confirmation that you really need to let that element go and, allow yourself to step into this period of sunlight. And for some of us, it's been painful, okay? We've really had to let go of friends, family members, relationships with some things that just do not serve us anymore. And that was so good. We have to feel confident about that decision, it feels like. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for your reading in June. I think that's beautiful. There is a little bit of effort that needs to be done, but come on, look at this prosperous future. That's great. So I really hope this resonated for you, and if it did, I'd love to talk to you about it in the comments section. You can also just leave a really big thumbs up. It really goes a long way to support the channel, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, you can always subscribe. And until then, stay divine. Hi Pile 3, and welcome to your reading for everyone who chose exactly this Amazonite. So Amazonite is really good for clear communication, speaking eloquently, but also, psychic vision and prophecy. So I thought that was rather apt for my June predictions. So let's see what's coming for my Pile 3s this June. Okay, we'll start here. Can I get one more? Wow. Okay, good progression at least. I don't mean to say at least as if this was something bad. Okay, Queen of Cups energy talks about if it were in reverse, it would tell me that you are this Queen of Cups. However, I think that there is someone who's coming into your life early in June who, has a wealth of emotional, ability, okay? The epitome of the cups. So a lot of intuition, a lot of creativity, really inspirational to you, especially as far as art, and maybe even, she's a really psychic person is just what I'm saying. So there could be a psychic influence there. And Queen of Cups, she upright tells me that it's time for you to receive. Okay, indeed, with the clarification of the Emperor in reverse, sometimes this can talk about your dad. And it seems like you need to receive some sort of advice. And so we're being called to, maybe halt some plans. Maybe we've been a little bit over enthusiastic about some approach in life because the Hierophant tells us to take a practical approach, okay, to some sort of element of change that we want to bring into being. And I think the pause right now is to allow this person to enter. They could be, someone you already know, and they could be in the sidelines, and you might be focusing on something else. Kind of like the Four of Cups energy is what I'm really getting here. And she just is so valuable, okay? It could be a man or a woman. There's no gender with how I read tarot. And she just has, a lot of ability to help you with relationship advice, but also to inspire you on creative projects, okay? She has the most beautifully ornate chalice in the entire deck. And the angels on there remind you that you too are angelic, okay? That's why I call you guys mini gods, because we all are mini gods the moment we wake up and step to awareness, okay? And awareness is the ability to understand that we control all of our emotions, okay? People who can be happy are people who understand that happiness is a decision. Truly it is. You create happiness. And it comes from being able to appreciate and accept what you have in the current, literally in the present. And to be able to work with whatever you have, For example, when I really wanted to start this channel, I didn't have the perfect table, so a table high enough. But, I have a wealth of ability, creative ability. I've been working with tools and wood and, art my entire life. And so I built a tabletop, okay? And legs for it specifically. So I solved that problem. And the Hierophant just tells me that the key is in your hands, okay? Some of you could be healers, energy healers, but that is a very specific message. Now, let's see what's coming else. improve upon this. She really tells you, in reverse, if you were the queen, it would say that you have a lot to give. It's time to give. Upright, it says it's time to receive is the message there, okay? And to not go, I'm going to let that message slide. Okay, so what is coming next? Let's have a little bit more. Okay, you guys, a little bit too many though. Okay. Ooh, indeed. Okay, cool. So this is an incredibly creative person, okay? They have a severe LOL. And yes, I did just say LOL. I'm gonna get one more. Cool. So the Empress, we've got, look at these major arcanas. It seems like some of you are on the beginning of a path, like I was picking up on, and it's time to, just take a pause, to figure out what motivates you is what I'm getting. And if we can understand truly where we're going and what path we want to take, it will make it that much easier, okay? I see a rebirth going on here. Some of us are very, very fertile at this time, but that's a very specific message. I see kids coming for some of you, and I don't really read into that energy often in these readings, but when I see the Five of Cups in reverse, I see a bat, hanging. It talks about rebirth to me. And we have this birth element here, but the Queen of Cups, as well. So I get a really, really strong, especially with the virile, I think is the word, Emperor card here. The ram energy. It's like pregnancy all over this, and that's a very specific message, but it seems like I always get one per pile, or per reading that I do. So this Empress, what does she talk about? She is sumptuous. She's got her little shield of Venus here, okay? And she is just the mother figure sitting in a very fertile time, okay? The rebirth element I'm getting is that you are able successfully to deal with letting some emotions and relationships go this June, okay? And it's gonna allow you to have this rebirth moment, which is, which is sort of this bat, okay? So some of us have to die the shaman's death in order to be born again, is what I'm getting. And I see the success in this, but I see us running a little bit too fast as a result. It seems like so far in 2021, we've really done a really good job with identifying, aspects that don't serve us, directions that we want to go in, and it seems like the call right now is to reel in this energy. It seems to be leaking somewhere, so that we can, channel that all into one path going forward. And it seems like, a practical approach is the best advice. King of Swords talks about yet another person coming in, who would be, the epitome of the sword. So a very clear communicator. It's a call of action, basically. And it's after this period of rebirth. I'm getting this sense that we need to celebrate some aspect of who we have become so far. This is the first half of the year, the first 6 months. I'm just getting this sense that we become something, we achieve something, or are ready to go and get the next thing. And it's just this idea that we have to celebrate, what we've brought in. Otherwise, we risk becoming who we used to be, which is someone who is not satisfied, who always looks outside of themselves, and especially for gratification and approval from other people. But I sense that's no longer you, okay? There is the action element, okay? And then the King of Pentacles in reverse tells me that that's you as a result of this advice here. The reversals told me that you are him, okay? So the King of Pentacles, the epitome of the pentacles, okay? So talent, okay? Career, a wealth of health, but also money, but also manifestation, okay? If some of us had brought something in, but we haven't truly appreciated that, or learned how to express gratitude, we're not going to be able to bring anything else in until we learn from that moment, okay? King of Pentacles also just talks about being on the top of your game, okay? In reverse, it could be, a little bit of greed going on. I get that sense. I think that my pile threes, you chose 3, the number of creativity. You guys are like able to bring in a lot. You guys are just also extremely creative people, or who are very inspired by creatives. But I get the sense that you are the creative here, okay? You are the King of Pentacles. You guys have a lot of talents. And for some of you, that's with working with your hands. Okay. Okay, yeah, absolutely. This is just a message that, you know, not to bear the weight of the world on your shoulders because you are not Atlas, right? And only he can bear the weight of the world on his shoulders. Okay, we're just mortals, you know? Our job is not to save everyone. Our job, like the Hierophant and what I was picking up on earlier, is to become aware of our emotions so that we can take the steering wheel again. So when we understand that we drive, you know, the car, and by driving the car, I mean that we choose emotions, and thus, you know, what we bring into being, we get to choose it. That's how we become mini gods. However, this is the straw that broke the camel's back when it's upright, okay? Now, this is a general reading, so you're going to have to bend this lens to see whichever is the most accurate message for you. Sorry, what I'm saying is that for some of you, this is a message to keep going, that you're so close, that you're almost there. But it's also, you know, that's only for a couple of you. 10 is the end of a cycle, okay? Oh gosh. Okay. Kind of the final card here we have going on is this handout card, okay? 6. It's an element of harmony, which is great. Yeah. Okay, so I see this sort of being the key, you know, to your success is this giving back element, okay? In order to turn the King of Pentacles upright, you know, to fully step into his power, I know that you are becoming him. In order to fully step into his power, we have to have this element of, yeah, you are this red figure here coming through quite strongly. You have to give back a little bit. This tells me to volunteer for some of you. There's just some element of needing to balance the scales, okay? If we bring in a big amount of money, maybe we give back a little bit of that somehow. Sharing our creative talents. I'm getting the idea of not to hide your light under a bushel, and to just really gain a sense of where you want to go so you can capitalize on the energies that are appropriate for that. Maybe specifically not go in multiple directions is what I'm getting. I think that is causing us to leak a little bit of our energy. But also, you guys are doing very well at identifying what serves you and what doesn't, and that is giving you a lot of power at this time in June. Okay, but let's just temper that energy, you know, find a balance, find a place between, okay, final 2 cards, wow. I'll just kind of set them like this, okay? So it talks about that new beginning, okay? I did say there's this element of action, progress towards the end of June, but there seems to be, you know, a need for celebration, okay? You guys have the wish card, and it did come out in reverse, I think, but regardless of the orientation, you know, especially coming out with the Fool, you know, reverse just says turn that wish inside, and then upright, I mean, you could still turn that wish inside, so I'm keeping it up. 9 is about perfection and success, okay? And shoot, I don't know that that's in the view. Forgive me, you know, I'm doing it a little bit differently, but I know that these messages are much more accurate as a result. Okay, so, you know, beginning of a cycle, end of a cycle, element of the 0, and just a lot of, you know, optimism coming forward as a result. The Make-A-Wish card says, when we identify what direction we want to go in, after receiving this sort of inspiration from this creative person, or, you know, deciding for ourselves what direction we want to go in next, we're going to be able to go, you know, anywhere. And the invitation is to take that leap of faith, but after this moment of celebration, for sure. So that's what I'm getting so far. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a romance lens and see if there's anything in love that wants to come forward for my pile 3s. Okay. Wow. You guys are in a love drought, it looks like. Sorry, I'm kidding. Romantic feelings, and then make the effort. Okay, I'm going to take a look at this card. I haven't looked at my romance deck, and that is like So hard for me to do, but I really like to be inspired by the imagery. So I've never seen this card before. It's quite beautiful, it's very, very relaxing. She's got, the little bit of a rose element going on right there, but a tiny rose, okay? And I'm seeing a ring as well. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Just make the effort, okay? Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Cool. So I think that this has to do with, I get a really strong energy reading from my group threes. Okay, you got a lot of power and potential and ability at your disposal. You can truly do anything you want this June, and the energy is supporting that kind of like tenfold, really. And it's just a call, to really allow some element of celebration too. If we keep asking and achieving, we're just going to keep climbing that ladder. And then even if we're not finding ourselves in the rat race, we might be able to create that for ourselves, which is what we don't want to do. And I'm getting this need to temper and balance some element, and it feels like love and our relationships with something, okay? Some of us, this is a specific message, some of us are able to identify who we love, but we're not making the effort, or we're really doubting it, okay? And I think that the energy right now is supporting you to go forward, and honestly, what energy is more romantic and loving besides June, stepping definitely out of spring into summer. I'm getting a summer fling reading here. It's great love for some of us, but others it is a summer fling. I get that from the Fool too. And I just want you to have fun with it and not to take it too seriously. I think that my pile of threes are really capable of achieving like really great heights. And we're on the path of something new, that's for sure. It seems like we're at the start of this. And it's because we've come from recently a place of achieving some element. And it's time to just bring that into a healthy balance. So I want to throw a couple more cards on from my favorite deck. Let's see what else is coming. Maybe some more confirmations, clarifiers. What's coming next? What's coming in June for pile 3? Pile 3 gets 3. Okay. Dive in. Yeah, I get this. Yeah. So, some of us are like chomping at the bit, and I can feel that. And I know this isn't what you want to hear, but it's time to, sense your flow. Sense when it's time to act so we're not pushing upstream and we can just simply step into the water and just go, and be supported by all the energies. And I think that this Emperor in reverse is what I just keep getting drawn back to, because energy, orange is the color of energy. And I'm just getting this sense that we need to just kind of pull in a number of feelers, because I think you guys are creatives, or some of you are experimenting with a lot of relationships. And it's time to sort of winnow that down, okay, into one channel so that you can go quite far in it. Instead of branching out in multiple different directions, you only have so much energy at your disposal, and those paths can only go so far. So if you were to take this path right here, working with two energies, you might only be able to go to here with both. But if you did one, you might be able to go all the way. Kind of vibe. The moon is talking about something coming up. This also came up in pile 2. Something coming up, something rising to the surface that needs to be dealt with in June. And I know that we are in eclipse season, so my special little bit of advice here, because this element happened to me as well, if we sorted through something, and we have rather successfully, we've cut away relationships that do not serve us. This could be relationships with family, friends, substances, work-life balance, any relationship. This is a general reading, so try to figure out what I'm talking about. If something that we've successfully dealt with comes up to the surface and we get stabbed with that little bit of anxiety, it's just, a little bit of an extra push from the universe so that you feel confident, that you made that decision correct. For example, speaking of this Empress, I don't have the best relationship with my mom, and so I had to set some really realistic boundaries in 2020 with her. And this moon element in eclipse season came back up, and it was like, did you successfully deal with your mom? Did you successfully set boundaries? Did you? And it was, just this moment of, pausing to really address it and say, you know what? I did. Thank you. And that's all that it needs to be, is what I'm feeling. A change from, did I? To, I did. Binge? I did. So this thing that comes up in the past, it's happening to everyone right now during eclipse season. Just address it and look it directly and plain in the face. If you truly feel like you have dealt with it, you have, okay? And it's just a little extra cue from the universe to, give you a boost of confidence that you have. And I get that sense that we've accomplished something, and that we're entering a period of rebirth in June, okay? Now, Breeze is the Fool, okay? Lighter than air. And I just get this really flowy, happy, I love the Fool, okay? Some people think he's taking a blind step off the cliff. That's not me. I don't believe that. I just think that he's so confident and understands, that we have this infinite aspect to our souls. And it's just about, becoming aware, awakening to that, and then creating whatever we want. Infinite potential, okay? That's what I'm getting. Breeze, this is also, a pause to get some air. It's time to take a breath, to sit a beat. But also Breeze could be talking about, you don't have to sit in that energy. I'm not telling you to sit in that energy for the entire month of June, because there is an element of making action, okay? Stepping forward. And that's what that Breeze element is saying as well. Allow this rebirth to occur, okay? So that's what I'm getting for a reading for my pile 3. I thought that was pretty amazing. And if you like this new style, make sure to leave a comment below. And if you felt like this resonated, I would also like to talk to you in the comment section. And you can leave a big thumbs up if you've made it this far into the reading. It also just helps other people receive these messages. And if you want to see more like this in the future, you can press subscribe. And until then, stay divine. Hi, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, everyone who chose exactly this Amazonite. Amazonite is about, clear communication, psychic vision, prophecy, and speaking eloquently. So I felt that was rather apt for this reading, okay? So you know what? Let's just look in the mirror. What is coming in June for pile 4? Okay. Ascension. What is coming for pile 4 in the month of June? Okay, that seems to be coming up a lot. So dealing successfully with cutting away, people who are draining your energy. Cool, we'll start here. Seems to be life purpose, okay? So the wands talk about spirituality, passion, and motivation. Okay, so upright, this talks about, the carpet has taken off, so stay on it, no adjustment to the course. In reverse, it actually has an even better meaning. It talks about ascension. So I like to look at it as if, this blue break that we see in the lake right here suddenly becomes, Jack and the Beanstalk-esque imagery. A break in the ground. It seems to be reaching like heaven or just, ascension. It seems like climbing the ladder is just much more the imagery in reverse. So ascending because, we successfully have dealt with self-limiting beliefs, relationships to anything. It can be substances, friends, family. We've been able to enter this element of rebirth, okay, that's coming through quite strongly in June for many of us, okay? It's been in multiple readings so far. So when I see the Five of Cups in reverse like this, it looks like a bat hanging in a cave. And the Native American imagery behind the bat is the element of rebirth, and specifically the shaman's death, okay? Burying yourself in the ground for the night, and then being reborn in the morning. And to me, this talks about, successfully, again, dealing with people who have been bringing you down in the past, and who have been specifically draining your energy. Ace of Wands coming in is, it's a very phallic card. That's why I was stopping myself from going too far down that road. It's also just, so much inspiration and power. Okay, you can do anything as a result. Okay, my pile 4s have been leveling up, and are leveling up in June. Okay, this is just an invitation to go anywhere. It's also a call, anything you touch right now is going to be divine. Okay, that's why we have the orc streaming coming out of the hand, and upright, this talks about a gift. Okay, this could be a new inspiration, a new passion, a new motivation towards your life purpose and spirituality. Okay, any of those elements. This is a general reading, so you're going to have to bend the lens. Okay, it's too many. Let's see what's coming next in the month of June. Have a little bit of clarification, please, for my pile fours. Yeah, that's great. Okay, becoming a Page of Wands. So, an initiator, I see new romance coming in for some of you, soulmates for some of you, but that's a very specific message, and only because this card personally is my boyfriend. And this card personally, big dick energy, I'm just going to say it. That's what I was trying not to say earlier. Okay, so bringing life into the desert, the Page of Wands is the apprentice, okay? The knights are the builders, the kings and queens are the epitome of the suit. So this is a new idea, okay? And I just think this is a spiritual path for some of you, but let's just keep going and see what wants to come out. It's too many, but this wanted to. Strength. Okay, cool. One more, please. Let's finish up this 6. It's another 8, too. So I get Ascended Masters, honestly, from this reading. Some of you are probably like, WTF? Ooh, okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, let me just tune into this and make it pretty for you. Yikes. Okay, so 3 major arcanas in a row. This is a fated event coming through pile 4. And some element is rebirth. I got that quite strongly. The Strength card, this figure really, to me, she reminds me of the Empress. She even has, the star crown. Okay, the stars are infinite. We're all stardust. And the infinity sign here. So there's this element of birth, okay? Some of us are literally having kids, and some of us are birthing our life purpose. And Strength coming out right here, it really talks about managing the ups and downs, but also that was another element of the Amazonite, okay? Which is very cool, because we have this sort of, intersex person here, this androgynous figure with the world. Amazonite, though, understanding that we have a masculine and a feminine aspect to us, that we have a light and a shadow, okay, an anima and an animus inside us, and that we are both of those, but also more, okay? So Strength it's a balance of, drive and, because we got a lot of that, yeah, drive and willpower and passion, fire energy. This love coming through for some of you could have a strong element of Leo in the chart, okay? Especially because there's Leo again in the world. We need to balance our energies moving forward, or we're learning about that, okay? There's some element of like inner beauty coming out pretty strongly too. We need to tame the wild side so that if we're putting a lot of energy into partying or work, and then, family and relationships and rest, is on the back burner, that's going to put our body and our energies out of balance, and it's going to suck a lot of energy by trying to keep here, This takes a lot of energy to keep my hands going like this, to go with the flow or to maintain the flow when we're out of balance. But if we can bring it into a place like this, harmony, perhaps, it also can be, these different sides to us, the wild side and the tame side, can be then brought into a fertile conjunction. LOL. FML. Because that will support you. If you're putting too much energy in one place and not enough in the other, your body, you sense that. You're a very sensitive being, okay? You can sense that, and that's going to work against you. And the Strength card coming up is talking about using energies available to us and aspects of our personality and our relationships, and we have. Bringing that into a fertile conjunction so that we can step into the world, okay? So this balancing act is causing us to resist this final, most absolute positive card in the deck, the World, okay? For me, this is why I was getting inner beauty. Something about inside, okay? I just get this sense of like blooming, okay? We're literally getting our life purpose from this card, you know? Sometimes I stop myself from going down the spiritual aspect of a reading because I know not everyone is spiritual or wants to hear spiritual messages. But I'm getting that so strong, and so I'm going to stop stopping myself. I think that my pile of fours are getting their life purpose in the month of June. And I know that's pretty huge. Okay, so these 3 cards came out. Okay, a breath of fresh air. Harmony, okay? I just talked about harmony, didn't I? So we're entering a really harmonious period, okay? We've successfully let something go, some aspect, okay? This death card in reverse is rebirth. And I already talked about rebirth. Okay, so we have harmony coming out as a result. And this Page of Sword, you know, this could be you, and this is the figure you're calling in. You're just a breath of fresh air. 10 birds up here, the end of a cycle, okay? As a result of a new perspective. We have this page up on this hillcock right here, okay? Getting a new vantage point, a new view of the world. And that allows us to move into a period of harmony, okay? I think some of us have really successfully dealt with plumbing the depths of our personality and what is our driving force. And as a result, we're moving from this period of, you know, instability into towards, you know, these placid waters of stability. In the month of June, we're getting like a huge leveling up. Some of us are extremely spiritual in nature, and that's why we're ascending, okay? So there's an element, I'm not like 100% educated on this, but I do follow this really incredible channeler on YouTube, Sam the Illusionist, I think is what it is. I could probably link him below. Anyways, the month of June, there are a bunch of revelations that are coming, is all that I'm going to say, I think, for now. And some of us are, you know, awakening this month. Some of our, you know, powers that we incarnated with are being activated, okay? We're stepping to this moment of extreme power and strength, okay? If you want to talk about, you know, some extremely powerful cards in the deck, I don't know that there's any ones that are more powerful than the death in the world, okay? And the world needs you, okay? Pile 4, very strong that message came through. The world needs you at this time to become activated, okay? That's written on this spread because you're meant to bring harmony into the world, okay? You know, you're here to show us that cycles are natural and it's okay to develop into a new person and to move forward as a result, you know? You're here to bring us peace and harmony. You are like a breath of fresh air, Pile 4. That's amazing. I love my Pile 4s. Let's see. You know, oh, I forgot the timer again. Gosh darn it. Is there any other message that wants to come through for Pile 4? Wow. The Empress. Okay, that is you. You're birthing something. Some of us are quite literally birthing something. I think this is your new soul. Okay? And death and rebirth. Wow. Okay, so this is quite obvious. You know, I don't even feel like I have to explain this anymore. So I'm going to move forward into the romance deck because I'm getting a pull for that. Just an extremely creative, an extremely fruitful time coming forward in the month of June. I see, you know, us awakening gifts that I stopped myself from saying that earlier, incarnated with. A lot of us are old souls, and we're being activated to help bring the planet out of, you know, the chaos that we've been living, you know. We've been living in the extremes of duality, and we're, you know, moving into the era of Aquarius, okay? We only give a fuck about truth is what I wanted to say so strongly, okay? Moving out of self-deceptions too. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, okay? So yeah, this has spiritual awakening all over it, but for some of us who are already awake, this is getting a fucking leveling up. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that word on YouTube, but whatever. Okay. Angel, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. I feel like I know who is in this reading right now, and I love you. You're so inspirational. I'm talking to someone very specifically. So this give your relationship a chance card. If you can see, she's got blue eyeshadow on, and she's wearing this beautiful blue kind of dress. Blue is the throat chakra, okay? Lots and lots of blue energy. The throat, okay? Give your relationship a chance. Eyes are closed. while this angel literally embraces her. She's unaware of how great her relationship is because she's always yearning for more. And she's yearning for more because she's not communicating, okay? Throat chakra, blue, communication, eyes closed, okay? Looking away. There's something that needs to be communicated, okay? You need to make the effort in your relationship, and this comes from getting rid of the backup plan. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You guys need to get rid of the backup plan so that you can step forward into this harmonious relationship that wants to bloom, okay? This is you. You guys are incredibly powerful right now, incredibly fertile right now. You're getting an amazing leveling up, like I've been saying. Guided to take. We have an angel here, the infinity angel here, a harbinger of death, a literal angel here, okay? I don't know that you need any more confirmation. These two as well. Romantic feelings and very soon. Okay, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Your feelings are real and worth exploring, romantic feelings. For the very first time I saw this card today in an earlier reading, it's so beautiful, okay? She's wearing a gorgeous dress, you know, it seems like she's able to turn around after this, you know, this effort that she's making, okay, that she's guided to take, you know. Here's the guided information. Guided because we have an angel. Give your relationship a chance. Your feelings are real and worth exploring, okay? We don't have to keep that backup plan in the sidelines anymore, okay? That's just operating, and you have to understand, that's operating from fear, and we need to operate from love, right? And having someone in the sidelines, always having that backup plan, makes it easier for us to fall, but that tells us that we're going to fall, you know? Let's cut that away, you know? We don't need that at all. Now let's move forward with a couple more cards. Stop and smell the roses. Aw, that's absolutely true. Okay, she's got the roses right here. There are roses right there as well. Strawberries on the table. This empress is wearing strawberries. That's beautiful. Okay, and we're stopping and smelling, you know, the roses here as well. I think that those are actually white lilies, so that might be important too. Preparing to move. Yeah. Moving into a period of harmony, some of you are actually moving, and that's a confirmation for you. Stop and smell the roses also talks about being in the present moment, which is how you're going to reach ascension. You only create from the present moment. If you're dwelling on the past, you're going to experience depression. If you're worrying about the future, you're going to experience anxiety. And if you have a foot in the past and one in the future, you're pissing in the present. Finding a niche, okay? Some of us need to find a niche. This could be on a creative project, taking this, you know, overabundance of will and passion and channeling that into what makes you unique, okay? What is the most individual you characteristic that there could possibly be, okay? And capitalizing on that. You guys are a breath of fresh air. You are the niche, okay? I get that very strongly. My Power Fours are so cool. My Power Fours are so powerful. Any more? Deep. Okay. I think the still waters run deep is what I just heard. Still waters that we're moving into. Yeah, and you guys have really plumbed the depths. So you guys have like this, yeah, you have a deep you guys are old souls is what I'm trying to say. And some of you have a really deep level of power. You know, you have a really deep well that you can pull from. And you're getting like a strong leveling up. And it's because you were able to successfully, you know, master relationships, okay? I had to distance my mom in 2020 because she was just, an energy vampire is the simplest way that I can say that. And she was a soul sucker, okay? And, you know, I gained so much clarity in my life when I was able to set that limit, but that was very hard for me to do, okay? I'm adopted. I already lost one mom, you know, so that's a huge level of mastery with life. If you're able to do that, okay? Something that big, you know? That's my lens. You have to, this is a general reading, so try to figure out what this is for you, but you know, that's a master, okay? We're talking about someone who has a master with life, okay? Someone who's ascending, Okay, that's me, but that's also you. Breeze. Okay, you're the breath of fresh air. Okay, that's undeniable. You guys are, at the end of your reading here, and wow, this came out so fluidly. This is why I decided to change my style to do what I'm more comfortable with, even though it really puts me on the spot. Again, I needed to take my own advice. And if you liked this style of reading, I would really like to hear about it in the comment section below. And if you felt like this resonated, I'd also really like to hear about that in the comment section. And you can leave me a huge thumbs up if you've made it this far into the reading. And if you want to see more like this in the future, you can press subscribe. And until then, stay divine. Hi, Pile 5. Welcome to your reading for everyone who chose exactly this Amazonite. Amazonite is really good for clear communication and speaking eloquently. Also, psychic vision and prophecy, so I thought that would be rather apt for my June predictions. It can also talk about managing duality, understanding that you have a masculine and a feminine side, and they weigh equally. The light and the shadow is worth the same amount of experience, okay? So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Let's look in the mirror. What's coming in June, specifically for Pile 5? That's too many cards. Okay, guys, I'm told to just take them anyways. Okay. An element of hope, after sorting out friendships, it feels like. Okay. One more card, please. Grrr. Okay. That's fine. We'll take this. Okay. So the star. You are the star, Pile 5. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. I'm actually thinking about getting it as a tattoo. Maybe some of you are thinking about tattoos. That's why that came forward. You should get one in June, right? Okay, so the star, this angelic being, this element of balancing duality. Okay, so she has her foot in the watery realm, the psychic realm, but also she's kneeling on the ground. So you're someone who has a foothold in both, and you're divine because of it. You understand that what you think about is what you can bring into existence. This is your pure manifestation energy with the Two of Wands, but also this Knight of Pentacles, building something, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. So the star, there's something, you have star potential, okay? No truth about it, oh no. That was trying to come out. Sorry, I didn't mean to peck you like that. So you have something that you were born with that makes you incredible. Okay, and the invitation here is to not to hide your light under a bushel. Okay, to let your entire glory shine through. Okay, to expose yourself fully. Okay, it's not necessarily telling you to go join a nudist colony, but for some of you, hey, that might be for you. But it's bare yourself for the benefit of all of us here on Earth, for the benefit of society right now, okay? So you guys have some fated event energy coming in the month of June. That's evident with these rather high, ranking major arcana cards. So some element of, I think that we're aware of our fucking bad bitch energy, and it's causing us to step forward and to cut away some things that can no longer serve us in this current state. I think we're developing an awareness of who we are and what we're meant to do here on Earth, or we're just, allowing ourselves to step on center stage, to put ourselves at the forefront, to focus on us, okay? This is also just an element of hope. I think some of us have been sitting in some rather deep energy leading into June, or perhaps the beginning of June. And you know what? This element of hope is coming here to say, the sun will rise again. It always does, okay? There is, this element of hope that's going to be very influential. So 5, a number of change, okay? I just see this energy as, it's you stepping into yourself, okay? And some friends had to go as a result. Some thoughts, patterns, ways of doing things, habits, that no longer serve how beautiful and amazing you are, and your awareness of that, those are going and falling away. You know, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, regardless, is a really resplendent image, okay? And I think this is, it's just telling me how amazing you are, okay? In reverse, it talks to me about you being the card, okay? You learning the lesson about it at the very least. And, okay, so you are this Nine of Pentacles. This is a figure who I feel like lives here, you know? And she's grown this garden over time, and indeed she has 9 pentacles. 9 is the number of perfection and success, okay? It's also a really, you know, very clear awareness card. Yellow is the color of awareness, intelligence, and clear communication. The bird on her hand, you know, a bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush. Especially in reverse, it tells me that we're not aware of how splendid we have it. Okay? We need to express gratitude in order to bring forward the next evolution of ourselves. Okay? We need to develop an appreciation for the present moment, whatever that might look like. Okay? And the star card here is if your situation is, you know, not where you want it to be, if you're currently manifesting something else, it tells me that we need to ground ourselves and to be grateful for everything we have. Some of us might try expressing gratitude before bed and see how that affects our manifestations. And here's a secret, it really works. Justice card coming through 11. Okay, it tells me that you are this master energy. Justice in reverse, it tells me that someone has caused this element of hope that needed to come in. There was a dark period here that I don't know about, but you do. And it's causing this element in need for hope, okay? Especially with this little bit of anguish going on here. Justice is being served, okay? If someone has done something negatively towards you in the month of June, they are getting justice served, okay? On a cold platter. The Lover's card talks about duality, okay? To me, this is about figuring out that you are a star and that you're infinite. That's why we have yet another angel coming through, okay? So the masculine side of the soul seeks to balance itself by seeking the female side, the feminine energy. The feminine energy seeks to balance itself from receiving guidance from the angel, okay? 6 is the number of harmony, okay? The harmony within yourself. You are each individual one of these expressions, but also them at the same time and more, okay? Sun talks about, you know, illumination. We've got the big gold star there. Lots of intelligence, lots of spiritual awakening for some of you. Just lots of great communication in the month of June will serve you quite well. In reverse, it talks to me about, you know, learning about this aspect. Some of you, you know, June is about pride, so I can't escape the fact that some of you might want to be coming out of the closet. I just want to tell you, you don't need to if you're surrounded by people who don't understand you. Don't feel like you have to come out, okay? When I was in high school, I mean, I knew I was gay at the age of 7, and I didn't come out because the people in my community weren't ready for that. I think you guys need to hear that message. I just knew that from such a young age, like, who the fuck cares who you sleep with? Like, that's literally it. That does not define the personality. I think my homosexuality is the least interesting thing about me. And I've always felt that, like, even from a very young age. And it alienated me from a lot of people, okay? Because I realized that adults were not perfect from such a young age. And I think you guys are feeling this energy really strongly. That's why I felt guided to share that. This could be about bringing in a new romance, okay? A romance coming in from the sidelines, offering you a bit of hope. But that's a specific message. The Knight of Pentacles, okay, so towards the end of June, we're building something. I think this is a hidden talent. Nope, it's not. So this is a talent that you're becoming aware of in the beginning of June. Excuse me, sorry. So the star, it does just talk about the idea of hope, but I have my own interpretation of the cards as well, okay? So this is it's just my favorite card, okay? It tells me that I'm a movie star. Like, I can do anything I want. I have unlimited talent, okay? And it's because I know how to ground myself, okay? Like the star does. Pouring the water back into the water, but also, you know, making the ground fertile. So you are this, you know, this master of balance, okay? And you just make life here extremely fertile, and that's because you have a wealth of talents, okay? So the pentacles are about manifestation, but also our talents, our career, money and wealth, okay? Wealth of health as well. And I see us building upon this, you know, stepping into our power element that seems to be coming in June. Building your talent, what could that look like? Going to school, opening a shop, collaborating with others to bring your clothing line into light, those kind of elements, okay? You're doing the work, and the advice here is that slow and steady wins the race. We also have the black horse here, okay? Coming up many, many times. You could be the black sheep in your family, or just the dark horse in this race. No one sees you coming, is what I'm getting. And this dark horse, what is black? Black is very dark and fertile soil, okay? Heavy in nutrients. And whenever I see this, dark horse, I think of the void. What is the void? Literally where all creative comes from, okay? Anything creative, anything that's never been brought to light before, anything new, any new idea, creative project, inspiration, any aspect of reality, it comes from the void, okay? And this is just another confirmation that you guys are extremely creative and extremely talented, unlike any other group in this deck. I guess pile 4 would, you guys would like to talk to pile 4, is what I'm gonna say. But you guys are so cool, you're right. You're the kind of people that I would want to surround myself with. You're the kind of person that I would want to be friends with. And if you don't have friends who feel that way about you, it's time to make some new friends. So I do want to go ahead and draw a message from the void because we've got our lovely void horse. And I will take 2. Oh, okay. So I dropped that. I feel like I'm going to let them out. 4 is a lot, so I'm probably not going to read into them too much. Remember, you already created the path. Our job is not to resist. Yes. Okay, so before we incarnate, we design everything on this planet, okay? Every aspect. And we have guides all along the way who put blocks in, which are, just as effective as greasing the wheels, This shadow side has just as much wealth of experience as the lighter side. So a block put in our path, it reminds me of, how a butterfly emerges from a chrysalis. Did you know that when the butterfly is fully formed, it actually hasn't any wing muscles formed? And those are only formed by breaking out of the cocoon. So if we were to, unzip that cocoon and let the butterfly out, it would die. It would never be able to fly because it never grew those muscles from breaking out. And that, that's nature's way of designing the perfect block for you. So try to fit that into your life. For example, if you wanted to be an Olympic swimmer, and that first block is going to be waking up at 4 a.m. every day to go swimming every single day. And if you can't get over that first block, you're never going to make it. You're never going to have that kind of determination to make it to swimming. So you're just going to be rerouted, okay? So remember, your path is already created and our job is not to resist it. That just tells me, especially because we have the angel coming through, with the master number 11 in justice and in combination with a star. Okay, so you guys have star potential and star power. You're here at this time to radiate, okay? In the future element, I know we have this aspect here I haven't addressed. In the future element, we have 2 twos, okay? Literally 2 elements of duality coming out to reinforce this element that I talked about early on with Amazonite. I think that you guys could benefit from working with Amazonite if you are trying to call forward psychic abilities, if you're just trying to master having 2 aspects to your personality. Some of us really could be bi, intersex, or anything like that, anything in between. And it's okay, is what some of you need to hear. And specifically, Amazonite really might help ground you. Okay, so 2 of Wands, the Master Manifester. Okay, you guys, as a result of building this project, I think that's just a reinforcement of your calling something in. And the 2 of Pentacles in reverse just says that we might be juggling too much, and to follow, try to really gain a sense of what this calling is about, okay? I think that you know what it is. That first thing that hopped into your mind, that something that's been on your mind throughout the reading thus far, go in that direction, okay? If we pick up on too many things, we can become imbalanced, and that imbalance will actually suck our energy because it's a lot to sort of maintain this kind of movement right here for our bodies, and it's much easier to maintain homeostasis, when we're not overexerting ourselves or going in too many different directions at once. But also, smooth waters do not make a skilled sailor, so just remember that. Go with your flow. Literally. This is why I chose to do readings like this instead of drawing them ahead of time. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing anyone who does, but I get into a huge flow, and this is my final reading of the day. I feel like this is just a big pat on my back to say that this was right. Okay, this was my flow. And if you really like this style, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. So go with your flow, okay? Sense what your flow is this June and just step into that, okay? If you feel like you're going after some creative project, some relationship, some talent, inspiration, something, and it feels like you're swimming upstream and you're not liking the work, that's an indication that that's not your path, okay? If you're swimming upstream, you feel like, and it's exhausting, but you're loving every minute, that's worth it, okay? Rough waters make a skilled sailor. Oh, I love this one, okay. A cat misses 9 out of every attempts to catch a fly, and still, with those odds, it never skips the chance. Okay, that one bears repeating. A cat misses 9 out of every attempts to catch a fly, and still, with those odds, it never skips the chance. I think you guys really needed to hear that, okay? I think you guys who chose Pile 5 really needed to receive these messages, okay? You're the star in my crowd today. Yeah, power of the presence of mind, okay? That talks about manifestation. I don't know if it was this spread or the one before, but if you have a foot in the past, we're dwelling on anxiety. Or if we have a foot in the past, sorry, that is depression. And we have a foot in the future, that is anxiety. And if we have a foot in the past and in the future, we're pissing on the present. But also, you know, the past is our teacher, the future is our inspiration, and the present is our creation. Manifestation is only performed in the present moment, and you will only receive your manifestations if you are grounded and manifesting from the present moment, okay? The power of the presence of mind. This is talking about stepping into your power, and that's done through awareness. We have many, many, many levels of awareness going on in this spread. So what is awareness? Awareness is the understanding that happiness is a decision you make just as much as fear, okay? Awareness is about understanding that you create your emotions, you choose them, you can allow some to slide, you can keep others, and understanding that what you focus on, you bring more of into existence. Okay? So I'm going to go forward, and I've done a little bit of a romance aspect with all of the other cards, and though I don't feel it for you guys, I am interested if there's something out there. You know, this doesn't have to be romance. This could just be relationships with people too, or nothing to do with that at all. Attraction. Okay, beautiful. You know, I haven't even seen this entire deck. I like to just be surprised. This is a card I have seen before, but recently, and it's just gorgeous. Okay, stop and smell the roses is the power of the presence of mind. Okay, and I think that you are this so beautiful figure. Okay, she reminds me of Florence Welch. Okay, Florence and the Machine. I get a cosmic love from this. Okay, you might listen to that song. It's beautiful. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. I didn't even read it. Okay, this is why I go with the flow. Okay. Power of the presence of mind. Yes. So anything you want to call into being can only be done from the present moment. Okay. My Pile 5s are learning that this month. That's why we have this element going on. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw one more card. I just really want to highlight this though. Okay. So we have to be in the present moment. And by doing that, it comes from understanding that the light and the dark elements of being, experience, weigh exactly the same, okay? It's just that we attach a lot more affection and attraction to the brighter side because it's easier to deal with, or it just provides, you know, a happier experience, and that's just human nature. But it's the negative or the mundane that has just as much value. So a really good practice for me is, you know, washing the dishes is what I always say. You know, if you can be washing those dishes and, you know, describe every plate, every bubble, every chip on the glass, and just be in that moment, feeling the sunlight coming through the kitchen window, ricocheting off the water. If you can be there and appreciate something as mundane as washing dishes, that's being in the present moment, okay? And that's where happiness is cultivated, you know? that's what I'm getting from this deck. I do want to draw one more from one more deck, okay? So June, let's see what's coming in June for my pile fives. These guys. Preparing to move, okay? That could be this element, but also here. Okay, so some of us want to manifest a move, is what I'm hearing. This go with your flow is so cool. This reading is amazing. Preparing to move, breaking the mold, absolutely. So some of you are aware of your talents and abilities and your family is holding you back, okay? Or your friends or your current environment is holding you back, but in June, I should say has held you back because you are now this star. From this reading on, you understand. Okay, I've been connecting with you very strongly throughout this entire reading. And, I don't want to have to convince you anymore. It's time to step into this element of hope, okay? Breaking the mold. This has strong Aquarius energy on it, okay? You also could be Gemini. And you guys are amazing, okay? I love people who break the mold, who take the road less traveled on, okay? You're here to uplift everyone. Okay. And don't take that as like taking on the world on your shoulders. That's not what I meant. It's just you stepping into your power and authenticity will uplift everyone around you. Okay. Space just tells me that you're from the cosmos. Okay. I think that you need space from your family. That space from preparing to move also talks about, the squirrel energy in the animal medicine deck that I have. So the squirrel talks about gathering energy and also, doing a spring cleaning so that you can make space for newness to come in, which really wants to in June, okay? Make space for love could be clearing out the skeletons in your closet, okay? But I'm just getting this sense of, you guys are just, obviously, because we all are galactic beings, but you guys just needed to hear that again. And some of you just need to make space for your manifestation to come through. And some of you just need to get away from your, people who are holding your back, old friends. Some of you need to leave this small town, is what I'm getting. Breaking the mold, okay? Now, I haven't done this with my other readings, but I really like my pile fives. I'm going to draw, from this deck too. I love a fellow Aquarius air sign moment. Okay, you wanted to come out. In your backyard. Okay, so this message, when I first made this deck, I got it all the time. And I was like, WTF, what is this talking about? Like, it scared me too. I was like, oh my God, there is a killer in my backyard. But what I think it means in this reading is that in your backyard, you're hiding your light under a bushel, okay? You need to get out of the farm, you need to go out into the world, you need to step into your own power. In your backyard talks about having a wealth of talent and reserve, okay? A wealth of career, success, manifestation, ability, health. You guys could be into fitness for some reason, that just came through. In your backyard, you know that you have this already. It's in your backyard. Some of you, the secret to unlocking this abundance, trying to come forward in June, is to, create a space, a safe place for yourself in your backyard. If you can't afford to move right now, maybe you can dedicate a room to yourself in your house that is just for you in this project or this creative pursuit that you want to, build. Think outside the box. Be resourceful, is what in your backyard says. Absolutely. So when I was first creating this channel, I needed a table to be at this height so that I could get this beautiful light coming through. And I didn't have one, but I have like multiple tables in my house not being used. But I did have this, window door, and I am quite handy with tools and building things, and I had a bunch of lumber. So what did I do? I built myself a table in a matter of minutes, and I have a table now at the perfect height. And I had all of that, in my backyard. And I think that just is asking you, to think outside the box, Regarding, this inspiration, I feel like you guys feel highly motivated by this, and you should, because this is a huge, thumbs up, going in a beautiful new direction after this darker period, or it doesn't have to be that dark. It doesn't have to be that deep, okay? But for some of us, it actually is. So that's the messages I am getting. These are the messages that I'm getting for the month of June for my pile 5s. And if this resonated, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, you can always press subscribe. And until then, stay divine.